Hi love, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Miss Ayi and you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you my love for always coming back. Let's make this beautiful cardigan. To begin with, you are going to make a slip knot. This cardigan fits a size 6 to 12 depending on how loose or tight you want it. So make your slip knots and we are going to make a foundation chain of 80. So if you are size 12 to 14 and you want it more free on your body, then consider making 90 to 100 chains. But if you want it more tight on your body, then you're size 12, you can keep to this same exact chains. Also, we are starting with the back panel. So after your 80 chains, you're going to make 2 chains, add 2 chains, and we are going to skip 2, and inside the 3rd stitch, we are going to make a double crochet. So this is row 1. Keep making double crochets in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you should be having 81 double crochets. Row 2, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, add another chain, making it 3. You are going to turn your work and you are going to make a double crochet inside that double crochet space. So not on top of the stitch, but rather inside the stitch, the very big space. So we are going in that space rather. So we are not doing the normal double crochet working on top of the stitch. So you are going to work double crochets inside, in between the double crochet stitches until the end of the row. At the end of the row, don't forget to put your last double crochet. That stitch may look very tiny, but don't skip it. So make your last double crochet to complete row 2 and you are going to chain 3, turn your work. So this is row 3. Turn your work, and again we are going to be working in between the double crochet spaces. So prepare your first double crochet in the first space. Make your next double crochet. So we are working in between stitches, not on top of stitches, and we are going to be repeating, we are going to be working this pattern throughout the project, not working on top of the stitches but in between stitches. So work your row 3, make double crochets in between each double crochet space until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to chain 3, turn your work, and you are going to start working row 4, and you are going to make double crochet in between your first double crochet in the very first space, and you keep making double crochets until the end of the row. So this is basically the pattern, and for the back panel, I'm going to go ahead and work 52 rows. You can decide to make it less if you want your cardigan to be shorter, and you can decide to add more rows according to your preference. But I am going to go ahead and make 52 rows. This is the 52 rows complete, and this is what I'm having, and you should complete your row as well. So now let's work the borders. To work the borders of the back panel, so you're not going to cut your yarn, so chain 1 and Inside each row, you are going to make 2 single crochet. At the borders of each row, you are going to make 2 single crochet. So this is row 3. From top, make 2 single crochet. Row 4, make 2 single crochets, and you are going to keep repeating 2 single crochet all around the edges of your work. So you're going to go round to the first corner and go round to the second corner and the third end at the third corner. So I'm at the first corner. At the corner space, you make a single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet all in the same space so we can have that edge. So again, at the second corner, make your single crochet, chain 1 and single crochet all in the same space, and keep making 2 single crochets in each space. But with the bottom, you are making only 1 single crochet. So at the end of your work, you are going to chain 1, cut and fasten your yarn, and this is what you should be having. Now we are going to be working the 2 front panels. Begin with a slip knot, and the front panel we are going to be working 2, and we are going to make 30 plus 2 chains. So that is our foundation chain. So the back panel we made 80 plus 2 chains. The front panel we are making 30 plus 2, and we are going to work 2 panels for our front. So chain your 30 plus 2. Now you are going to skip the chain 2, and inside your third stitch you make a double crochet. Keep making double crochets in each stitch until the end of the row. And also the back panel is 80, you would realize the front panel will be 60. However you started your back foundation chain, make sure the front panel has 20 stitches lesser than the back. So make your double crochets until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to chain 3, turn your work, and we are going to place our first double crochet in that very space in between our previous double crochet, and you keep making your double crochets in between the previous double crochet until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to chain 3, turn your work. So this is row 3, turn your work, place your first double crochet in between the double crochets above until the end of the row. You are going to repeat this until you have 52 rows, or you have rows that is equal to your back panel, and you are going to go ahead and make the same exact thing, and I'll meet you when I have my 2 panels completed. Special appreciation goes to all my returning subscribers. I don't take you all for granted. I love you so much, and if this is your first time coming across this channel, please show us some love by subscribing, liking, and let us know what you think about our videos under the comment section. We value your feedback, and I don't take it for granted. Now keep working until you have 52 rows and do the same exact thing. And this is my 52 rows. After the 52 rows, you're going to chain 2, and again we are going to work our borders all around the 3 corners of our work. So when you're working, you're going to chain 1, and in the row space you're going to make 2 single crochets in each row. And when you get to the down parts, you're going to make a single crochet in each space, and again you go with 2 single crochets in each row until the ending points. So keep doing this and I'll meet you at the end of the row. And also don't forget to do the same exact thing for the second panel of your front panel, and we shall meet when I have all my 3 panels ready. So at the end of the row, you're going to cut and fasten your yarn, and this is what you should be having. So this is my first front panel, and I'm going to go ahead and make another one. This is my second front panel, and this is what your work should be looking like at this point. Now we are going to be joining them together. So you're going to place your back panel, and you place your 2 front panels. So the back panel, make sure the front side is facing you, and the 2 front panels, make sure the wrong side is facing you, because we are going to be attaching this together. So we'll start attaching with at the shoulder parts. So you are going to insert your hook inside the front and the back panel and attach your yarn with a slip knot. You're going to chain 1, and we are going to go inside each stitch, both the front and the back, and make a single crochet. So we are attaching it with a single crochet. However, you can attach it with either slip stitching or any method you prefer. So make sure the panels are aligned correctly, and go inside the fronts in each stitch, the front and the back, and make a single crochet. I'm trying as much as possible to sew in all my loose ends as I work, but we will still have a little cutting to do when I'm done. So slip stitch, attach it until the end of the row, and I'm attaching with single crochet. At the end of the row, this is my last stitch, and from here you can cut and fasten your yarn and attach, repeat the same for the other panel. However, you can also chain 1 and make slip stitches until you get to the other side. So whichever way works perfect for you. So this is the second part, and I'm going to be attaching it with the same single crochet. So do that and I'll meet you when I'm done. To attach the size of the work, you are going to measure 9 inches and put a stitch marker. You can also measure 10 inches if you want your armhole to be a bit bigger, and 8 inches if you want it medium, and 7 inches if you want it tight a bit. And you're going to attach your work at the bottom of the sides and chain 1, and just as we did for the shoulder parts, we are going to be attaching the front, both the front and the back, but this time we are not going to be using single crochet, but rather we are going to be slip stitching to attach the sides of our work. So we are attaching it from the bottom of the work until where the stitch marker space is. So keep slip stitching until you get to the stitch marker space. At the stitch marker space, you're going to take off your stitch marker and make your last slip stitch. And now we are going to start working our sleeve. To work our sleeve, you are going to chain 70 if you want your sleeve to be longer, or you're going to take a measurement of your arm and you're going to chain. So I'm going to make 70 chains just because we would be working the band at the end, so I don't want it to be too long so everything will fall in place. So go ahead and make your preferred chains, and I'll meet you when I'm done with my 70 chains. After your 70 chains, you're going to chain 2. Now you're going to skip the chain 2 and make a double crochet in the 3rd stitch. You're going to go ahead and make double crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you should have 71 double crochets. The skip chain 2 counts as a double crochet. Keep working your double crochets until the end of the row. So at the end of the row, we are going to be slip stitching. We are going to be making something different. We are going to be attaching the arm to the main work, and to do so, we will be slip stitching 2 times inside the armhole. So the first 2 stitches, make your 2 slip stitches, 1 and 2. Turn your work. We are going to skip that 2 slip stitches we made. It doesn't count as anything. And in the very 3rd stitch, we are going to start making our double crochets in each space until the end of the row. So you can start working in between the stitches, work double crochets in between the stitches or on top of the stitches until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you should be having 71 stitches, 71 double crochets. So at the end, you're going to chain 1, 2 and 3, turn your work. You are going to prepare your double crochet in between the stitch. So keep working your double crochet until you get to the bottom parts, and keep counting. Make sure it remain 71 stitches, 71 double crochet, nothing more, nothing less. We are only slip stitching at the body or to the main work. So this is my last double crochet. Again, I'll be alternating between slip stitching 2 times or 3 times. So this is my first slip stitch, this is the second. You're going to turn your work. So I'll just be alternating. So I'm going to put another slip stitch, making it 3 because I don't want the arm to be very puffy. So you are going to skip the 3 slip stitches, and inside your 4th stitch, you are going to start making your double crochets. So make your double crochets in between your previous double crochet spaces until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you're going to chain 3 again, turn your work. You're going to make your double crochets in between your previous double crochet space, and you're going to go ahead and make your double crochets till the end of the row. At the end of the row, you're going to place your last double crochet. And again, you're going to slip stitch 1, 2, and you're going to turn your work, skip the 2 slip stitches you made, and make your double crochets until the end of the row. So you're going to repeat this until you go around your armhole space. Again, you can make alternate between slip stitching 2 times, 3 times, or even 4 times, depending on how puffy you want your arm to be. If you don't want it too puffy, you can be slip stitching like and you can be making 3 slip stitch or 4, right? But don't go 5, that would be very extreme. So keep doing this and I'll meet you when I've gone round my work. So now this is what the work looks like now that I've gone all around, and I don't have any more space to slip stitch again, but I ended at the top part. So what I'm going to do is I don't like to attach my work both sides at this point, so I'm going to chain 1 and make slip stitches in each space until I get to the bottom of my work. Since I don't have any slip stitch space at the end to attach, I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch at the end of the row. So if you ended at the bottom, you don't have to slip stitch to the top. Just wait for us there. At the bottom of the work, this is what you should be having. Now I'm going to turn my work and we are going to be slip stitching the 2 sides to close off. So we are closing off the round. So I'm going to position my work well and attach these 2 sides together to form a round or a circle. So insert your yarn in the first part or the first panel and just pull through to attach both. You are going to chain 1 and go inside each stitch, both front and the back, and we are going to be attaching it with slip stitches. So make sure you go inside each stitch, front and back together, and make a slip stitch. Front and back together, make a slip stitch, and you are going to do this until the end of the row. At the end of the row, this is what your work should be looking like, and now we are going to be making single crochets around the border. To begin with, you are going to chain 1, and inside each row you are going to make a single crochet, not 2 single crochet but a single crochet. So make sure you just see the rows and make a single crochet on top of each row until the end. So go around until where you started from. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch inside the chain 1 space where you started from, and this is your border row 1. Row 2, you are going to chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to be making single crochet decreases. So insert your hook in your first stitch, yarn over, insert in the next, you have 3 stitches, and pull through. Insert your hook in the next stitch, in the other, and pull through. Insert your hook in the next stitch and in the other, and pull through. So you're going to be working single crochet decreases all around or in each space until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you are going to slip stitch on top of our first chain 1 space. So you're going to slip stitch and don't chain 1 and don't chain one and fasten your yarn, because we are going to be connecting our second color, which is white. So cut but don't fasten, because we are going to connect our white yarn, and this is how we do it. So now we are going to chain 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're going to skip 2, and inside the third stitch you're going to make a half double crochet. Keep making half double crochets until in each stitch until the end of the row. So we are working the wristband. Just as we did for connecting our arm to the main part of the work, we are going to be using the same exact method. After our half double crochet in each stitch, we are going to be slip stitching 2 times in the arm space. So the first 2 stitches, you are going to make your slip stitch 1 and 2, and you are going to turn your work. And I'm trying to sew in my loose ends as I work, so we are going to be working back loop only. So inside the very, you're going to skip the 2 slip stitches, and you're going to make back loop half double crochet in each stitch until the end, or until you are at the top. So I'm trying as much to sew in all my loose ends, but I'm sorry if you are not able to see, but we are making half double crochet back loop only inside each stitch. So with this one, we are not going to be alternating between stitches. It's strictly going to be 2. We are going to be slip stitching 2 times in the main work, right? So row 3, you're going to chain 2 and back loop half double crochet. So make your first half double crochet back loop only inside the very first stitch. And keep working back loop half double crochet in each stitch until you are the down part of the work. You get to the bottom. At the bottom, you're going to be slip stitching 2 times to the main work. So in the first 2 stitches, you're going to make your slip stitch 1, and in the next, you're going to make your next slip stitch. You're going to turn your work, skip those 2 slip stitches you made, and work in your main work the first stitch back loop only half double crochet. You're going to work until you are at the top of your work. And always make sure to work your last half double crochet in the very first space, because that can be tiny and you might miss. So chain 2 again, work half double crochets in each stitch until the end. You slip stitch 2 times, and you are going to repeat this all around till the end of the row. At the end of the row again, I don't have any stitches remaining, but I ended at the top, and I don't like to end my work at the top because we will have a last border to do. So I'm going to be slip stitching again to the down part of the work before we join the two together. So after slip stitching, we are going to join close off our wrists, and we are going to insert your hook into the first panel and pull your yarn through the knot through, and you are going to chain 1. Make sure your panels are aligned, and we are going to be working slip stitches. If single crochet will be easy for you, just go ahead and connect this as you preferred. If you want to use your darning needle at this point, please go ahead and do that. So at the top, after connecting all the parts together, so you should be having something like this. So your work has formed, and now inside you're going to chain 1 and make two single crochets inside each row. So this time we are not making 1, but we are making 2 single crochet on top of each row, so the edge space. So go ahead and make 2 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So at the end, you are going to slip stitch, chain 1 or 2, cut and fasten your yarn, and we are done with the wrist, and you are going to repeat the same exact process for the other side. So make sure you sew all loose ends, and this is what your cute wrist should be looking like. So went ahead and make this other part, and now we are going to be making the border around our top. So this is why we left the 20 stitches in between, because after the border it will close off. So we are going to go ahead and make the border all around the neck until the other part of the work, and we are going to be repeating the same exact pattern we did for the wrist. So you are going to attach your yarn and chain 8. After your 8 chains, you are going to skip 2, and inside the 3rd stitch you are going to make your first half double crochet. Keep making half double crochet in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row, now we are going to be slip stitching. So here you can see your stitches clearly. So we are making our slip stitch into the front panel. So make 3 slip stitches, slip stitch 3 times to our main work, turn your work, skip that 3 slip stitch, and back loop only half double crochet. Make your half double crochets until the end, or until you get to the top of your work. And at the top you are going to chain 2 again, turn your work, make half double crochet back loop only in each stitch until you get to the bottom. And get to the bottom of the work, you are going to slip stitch 3 times to the main work again. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, and just as we did for the wrist, you are going to be repeating this all around onto the other side of the work. Also, you can choose to be slip stitching it 4 times, but please don't go 5. If not, your work please don't go 5. Please don't go 5. Just your highest should be 4, so it can take a better form, right? So I'm going to be working all around until I get to the other side of the work, and I'll meet you there. So you can be alternating between 3 and 4 slip stitching to the main work, but don't exceed, please. At the end of making your band all around, you are again going to chain 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you are going to turn your work. Now we are going to be working the same band all around the bottom part of our work. So you're going to skip 2 again and make half double crochets in each stitch until the end of the row. At the end of the row with the band, we are going to be slip stitching 4 times to our main work because I want it a bit close off, not too loose at the bottom. So we are going to be slip stitching 4 times. After your 4 slip stitches, you're going to turn your work, skip those first slip stitches, and make your half double crochet all the way up. And this is basically the pattern for the work. You are going to go around and work your band all around to the end of the row, to where the first white space started. So you're going all around the bottom of your cardigan, and we are slip stitching to the main work, this time 4 times, not 3, not alternating between 3 and 4, but 4. Right, and this is it. You are done with your work. After you are done, don't forget to cut, fasten all loose ends, and make sure your work is neat and clean. Again, if you are new to the channel, my name is Miss Ai, and you are welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, my love, my darling, my baby, thank you very, very, very much for stopping by today. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please, 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 please do. And also do let us know where you are watching us from. It's always nice to know. And don't forget to share our videos. And yeah, until we meet next week in class, my baby, my love, my darling, is bye-bye. So make sure you work it all around, and I'll be working all around off camera.